When I was doing the live stream, and I saw Space Ishtar went on Raid Up, I'm like, oh yeah, didn't she go on Raid Up 2 years ago? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. No need to make a big deal. I had to go back and look last year, and she did. There was no Raid Up. I already closed the tab though. Space Ishtar didn't get a Raid Up 2 years ago at this time. Her next Raid Up was supposed to be next year for the download campaign. That ain't happening. Is she worth right now? Especially now, she's coming out less than a year before Summer Ibuki. That completely depends on your investment. I will say you really cannot be comparing Summer Ibuki to most other farming servants. It literally is not fair. She is so Summer Ibuki is just so strong as a farmer that it's just she's in her own category for ease of use, just usability, everything. The only thing Summer Ibuki lacks is defense, and most of the time you're running her with Castoria, so her best defense is killing everything until it's dead. Space Ishtar though is fun to use. I really like that how much she got buffed by the pens coming out. And if you have an MP2, you're sitting pretty because not only do you get the mana loading, you also get extra attack buff, which works. They work together with her overcharge effect, which is boosting the shit out of extra attack damage. While she doesn't have crit, there are supports that can let her crit if you really, really want to, and like have just good turns that lead into the extra attack. Do I think she's the best unit to be bringing to challenge quests like this? No, but she is general. You can bring her to most of them. She is a unit that the least invested your account is, like the more you don't have like a whole bunch of 5 stars, the more you see value in her. It's the same with Ibuki. It's the same with any farmer. Okay, no, actually, no, I take it back. Because Ibuki outclasses farmers in their own class. My bad. But back to the point of an Avenger farmer is that you can bring them to fight most of the normal classes. There are some challenge quests where you literally can't bring them. If you're fighting a ruler boss, don't bring a Moon Cancer. Don't bring Kiara. You're not gonna have a good time. And the opposite for Space Ishtar. Don't bring her to fight a Moon Cancer. Bring her to fight a ruler if you really want to do some good damage. Although you probably would be going Shelter at that point. So again, it is account dependent. Whether you have other units to do this, all depends on you. Let's get started. First off, this is the most Rin out of all of them. This Rin especially is shown to be as much as a terror to young children as the original Rin. Taiga in this one calls her the Red Devil. And Taiga in any sense of in any universe, whether it's Taiga or Jaguar Warrior, are literally the same person. Just different aspects of her. So like Taiga in Saber Wars 2 being a head dean for evil dictator women growing up makes sense for her. She's the princess of a Yakuza group. I could imagine Taiga having a job like that in Fate Stay Night, unironically. Maybe not like as obviously for evil young girls, but I could see her doing it. Anyway, let's get started on gameplay. This is all a taste thing, whether you like the designs or not. I think she just like looks more Rin than ever, and I enjoy Space Ishtar's character. I would say more than Ishtar. I'm not saying Ereshkigal. Definitely not saying Ereshkigal. I like Ereshkigal way more, but yeah, lasagna. Where the fuck is? I swear to God, if you give Space Ishtar a summer costume before Ereshkigal, people are going to actually be fucking fuming. I know they're different characters, but people will actually be pissed if a FGO gets snubbed on a summer costume by Space Ishtar. Anyway, she got 12.6k attack, the Avenger attack. What more can I say about it? Avenger attack is stupidly high. She scales really, really well with all other kinds of buffs. Art servants, they love having super high base attack. Why? Because double Castoria can give them 100% base attack, assuming you're not spamming their MPs fast enough to pop more. Depends on the challenge quest, but it's actually possible that you can stack up more than like her MP more than twice and get even more attack out of it. And I say 100% minimum because if you have MP5 Castoria, that's 50 by itself. So it goes up, it's from 100 to 140. HP low, but actually this is super low HP. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, she's an Avenger, but you are going to have to protect her. This is the kind, like, and especially if you are only running her with double Castoria, she is going to, you're gonna have problems if you're doing anything other than farming. Star weight, star gen, our Avenger numbers actually like 0.6. Isn't that actually higher? No. Okay, no. Avengers has just slightly higher star gen than Berserkers. Okay. MP charge 0.69%. Nice. Nice. It makes so much sense for Rin. If it makes too much sense. You know. It counts. Her quick art is decent, but don't ever switch her to quick. She is terrible as a quick servant. I'm saying it straight up. Do not switch her to quick. You will be miserable unless it's like literally only to do a mighty chain. In which case, I mean, I get it, but don't do it. You're gonna don't do it. Don't switch her to quick. Okay, first skill, 20% charisma. Oh, sorry, 20% attack for her, 30% attack for everyone else, and then immune to charm debuff for 3 turns for the entire party. It is the funniest shit that if you remember, Space Ishtar came out after Lost Belt 4, like right after it, meaning they released this servant as a counter to Kama. That has to be the like funniest shit. Like, they actually released servants to counter, to be lore accurate counters, and somehow they also involve servant verse bullshit into this. I can't even like it. Brandon can't let Sakura have anything, can she? She just can't. This is not gonna turn into a sisters fight video. It's not. I don't have that much preference over the other. Second skill is what allows her to change her card type. MP damage 1 time 3 turns. That means if you're arts farming, pop this on turn 3. Don't pop it on turn 1. If you're buster farming, well, you're shit out of luck. You gotta pop this turn 1. But you are going to be able to pop this again turn 3 or 2, depending on enemy health bars. So at least you have that kind of fluidity with Buster. You have a choice whether you're actually popping this turn 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. Which, I mean, if you need the damage, you need the damage. Again, do not turn her to quick. She is not good as a quick servant. Her hit counts are way too low for a quick MP. If she had a 5, if changing her MP also changed the hit counts, then we have something different to talk about. Then, but as a 3-hit quick MP, no. No. Quick servants need like 4 or 5 plus, otherwise they do not loop. They do not hit 50%. Like, imagine changing Space Ishtar to quick and then needing Summer Chloe just to get her over the threshold to loop again. That is like mind-blowingly stupid. All for an Avenger that's not Dante's to somewhat gen stars. You are probably better off just going Buster, because the Buster supports will give you all the stars you need and you'll crit harder that way. Third skill, 20% gauge. No, sorry, misread it. 50% battery. This is a 50% battery. And then it also has 20%, 80% chances to grant 20% card buff for 3 turns. There is an easy way to mitigate it, but you need a command code to do it. And with that, what that command code does is it increases buff success rate by 20% and it lasts for 2 turns. So depending on your timing and what card type you're using, it is way easier to pull that off with Buster than it is Art. And that actually works fucking phenomenal for it too. Because then there is a chance you might be able to actually pop it twice. But it's all on timing. It really depends on timing. And you can probably, in that setup, you can probably guarantee 1 count for all 3 of them. I don't think you can guarantee a second one. I don't think the cooldown reduction is going to be that kind for you. So, but even still, it is a way to guarantee that Space Ishtar and Buster is getting her Buster buff. Might not be able to double stack it, but at least she's able to do it. Passive skills: magic resist C 15%, debuff resistance, independent action C 6% crit damage, goddess essence 27% debuff resistance. So we're at 42% debuff resistance right now, along with getting a little more tickle with the divinity part of goddess essence. Avenger EX: when taking damage, 22% more gain when taking hits. Avengers are known for going 0 to 100 if they get hit too many times while they're in-dueled. They get free MPs off that shit. And it's why they're really good for boss fights, because like the enemy is going to hit them. Oblivion Correction A increases crit damage and 3.5 gauge per turn. Again, the reason people love Avengers, because if they're just slightly under the threshold, they can MP again. This is way better on quick units though, because they're the ones that aren't supposed to be popping. They're the ones that need to hit 50 and not 100. Why does that matter? Because if you only need 50, 3.5% matters way more. You get more value of it. If you're at, okay, so here's the math for it. They both, I want to phrase this right. Okay. So you loop 80% of what you need. So for a quick unit, you loop 80% of what you need to loop again. That's 40%. For an arts unit, you loop 40% for what 80% for what you need. That's 80%. 3.5% gauge on a quick unit means they need less than 10 gauge. Like already, they just needed a 10 battery and then they were at 50 and they could have gone back up. But with this gauge, like, they're almost at 44%. They need 6 more. Sometimes that gets rounded up too. So at that point, it actually becomes an overkill issue. Can you get someone a little lower just so you can loop that last bit just to get to where you need? Arts doesn't have that luxury, but most of the time, Arts doesn't need that much help like that. For Arts, usually it is just bring another support. Quick kind of can do that, but it really depends on what CE you're starting. Arts can get away with more CEs, but usually Quick is planning for them. Quick is more precise in your structure, while Arts you kind of just freeform it, depending on who the unit is, what supports you're running. Space Ishtar, from my experience, like loops like 70%, so you just use her, like, which is good enough for Castoria, and this little bit of gauge makes it so she just loops just under, like around 66, 65 U, or they're way closer to being able to MP than you. But again, that's mostly black rail Space Ishtar. If you're looping from 50%, like start it like you have a Ocean Flyer. You're using Ocean Flyer. Probably not gonna need. You probably actually have way too much battery at that point. I'm not gonna lie. Get mana loading first, and then extra attack. Mana loading will help you with setups and let you start from 0 way easier. Mana loading improves her own MP overcharge effect significantly. And then this is anti-archer. This is either Calamity Jane or regular Ishtar. I think it's actually Calamity Jane. MP, AoE 3 hits. And the normal effect is increase own damage of Etcher card by 100% for 1 turn. She ramps up MP damage. And as you can see, the other ones have the same exact effect and overcharge. Scaling is different, but that's because it's a different card type. Now, what is the difference between this and this? This says extra attack performance. What does that mean? Think of this like you get a card buff, like you got a mana burst, or just your extra attack. And remember, mana bursts do more than just damage. They increase the refund, star gen, along with the damage. So what this turns out to is you break bars way easier. You do so much more damage for your extra attack than you would believe. If you're fighting a boss, a lot of your runs are going to get saved because of a Brave Chain, and you just do so much more damage than you'd think an extra attack would do. But remember, she has such stupid high base attack that the damage is already going to be better than most other units. She has a 5-hit extra attack. She's not gimped on that. Is it going to gen the most stars? No. I mean, this extra attack will actually help it gen more stars, though. There's that, too. You can technically do Mighty Chains, although you're not going to be doing that many. And yeah, this MP damage ramp up works really fucking well with Oberon. He loves this shit because this is 120% MP damage from her kit alone. I am counting that it's doubled. And also, that's at minimum. Remember, she is an arts unit, and this scaling for MP damage is actually like really good. He's getting 10% per overcharge level. I don't know if you like looked at the more recent level units, but they're increased. They start at like 10 and then increased by 5 for like Wangina. This is like full on double the base, and she ramps up higher, and each gap isn't 5%, it's up 10. So when you're chaining Castoria NPs, not only is Space Ishtar getting even more attack, she's also getting more MP damage. This is why I think some of these numbers on here are skewed, because it's a lot easier than people think to be popping Castoria NPs to up the damage. And yes, I understand that this is here because you can't guarantee you Castoria NP every time. You can't. Hard RNG is a bitch. You can't guarantee you're actually gonna MP. And that's why I'm fine with this. I just wish there was a section that showed what Castoria, like chaining Castoria NPs actually does for damage, because that is something that you'd want to be showing. I'm stuck here. And I did the egg lotto. I did not get enough eggs for Space Ishtar. And then I forgot why I needed the eggs. So now my Jocks is going to be hurting for a while. But yeah, eggs are going to be in high demand. And gallstones are going to be in high demand. If you didn't farm them from the raid, good fucking luck. Because I need gallstones on occasion. And I keep taking them from Space Ishtar. She has been at 7-10-7 for like well over a year because I kept needing the gallstones. Oberon doesn't help. On CE is Omni card buff while she is on the field, 8%. I really, really, really like Space Ishtar, but if you are pulling her from meta, I will say, if you do not have Melisyn, you should probably be saving up for her. Or, okay, so it's not just Melisyn, but you need a demonic beast servant. That is your regular Ibukis. That is Ritra. That's Summer Kiara. That's Melisyn. I know I'm pretty sure there's like one more. You need, for the raids coming up this December, Angusta, you are going to need, if you want to get the most out of the raid, you're going to need a farmer that can 3-turn like that. Melisyn, I would say, if you have Bitch and Oberon, is the best choice for it. She is so stupidly good for farming that shit. Space Ishtar is going to be power crept. Has been power crept on JP. Summer Ibuki is way more universal and doesn't have nearly as many flaws as Space Ishtar, and she's just straight up easier to use. You can bring Summer Ibuki to more fights. Art supports are fucking OP. They have the best supports. Oberon technically counts as an art support even though he has that buster buff. He has an MP damage support. He just happens to also buff Buster because he has a Buster MP. Of course he's going to have a Buster buff. If you're summoning on this banner for like Cersei too, like you like Cersei copies like Elroyd on Twitter, I get it. She can, like, if I don't have Sanzang, so Cersei is my like option for Black Rail single target caster farming. And I mean, she's gonna do it really, really well. Mine's MP5. Don't roll for this servant and expect her to farm everything for you like people said like 2 years ago. Because before, when she first dropped, or when she dropped and then JP had Castoria, it was, oh yeah, just get Space Ishtar. You're gonna be able to farm everything with her. I mean, that is true. But there's more to the game than just like one character farming. That's me personally. I like seeing a whole bunch of units do cool shit. And now that my Mystic codes on pretty much all my accounts are almost done, I'm on like the home stretch on NA. Like, and then every single Mystic code is done. Even Arctic and Atlas, I just get to use Plug Suit for like until that's done. And then JP is pretty much the same way. I get to have fun again. Or not again. I was having fun doing the science stuff. But now I'm pretty much in easy mode now. Am I going to start using my Space Ishtar? I mean, if people ask me to. Like, you just ask me on stream to use her, I would for like a run or two. But me personally, I have other stuff I want to work on. And using the same servant over and over again is just not it. And before you say that, I have been using Summer Ibuki to farm the Stormpod node for like literal 4 months. That's because I'm trying to do like 4 other things at the same time, like bond point farming and Mystic Code leveling. How many other fucking servants can start from 0 with a CE that doesn't give any fucking anything other than raw attack, Black Rail with it, with Arctic, and only double Castoria? At MP2, by the way. Space Ishtar isn't doing that shit because of the berserkers on it. Ibuki straight up does not fucking care. Anyway, that's my talk about Space Ishtar. I'm keeping Summer Combat out of this conversation because I've already done that before. I don't need to have like two of the same video, just on two different servants. You know, like I already brought the Space Ishtar person in the Summer Combat video. Let's keep this one just about Space Ishtar. She's a Rin. People are gonna summon for her no matter what because she's Rin. Like, be honest. It is what it is. You like what you like. Buy what you like. Be a smart consumer. All right. We'll see you guys. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.